Welcome back, everyone, to the STF Experience. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we get started, here is a preview of the upcoming episode.
I feel like as a Marine, I was very disappointed in myself, obviously. I was so scared because this is a career ender, but I still wanted to, I didn't want that to define me.
And being 18 is very important to also nurture, the goals and the dreams that one has, because I feel like as you get older, if you don't have that certain support, it's going to be really easy to just be like, you know what? Hey, like, I guess it just isn't meant to be.
I know that this might be a career ender because a DUI can strip you of your money, strip you of your rank, can make people see you differently.
And after all those accolades, if you still don't know, buckle up because it's about to be a show. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the SCF Experience, Miss.
Now, before we get started, please make sure to like this episode, subscribe to the channel, and follow us for more incredible life lessons on the STF Experience.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to another episode of Surviving the Flame, where we have lit conversations with ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And today's guest is truly no different, man. Today we are welcomed by a United States Marine, a true scholar in her own right, and the kind of friend that you would always find easy to go in support or always go to bat for and things like that. She has a true heart of gold, hands of steel that you don't want to be on the other end of. God bless you if you do, because you're gonna need some help. And in a brain with not much in it. No, I'm just playing. She's actually like extremely incredibly intelligent, just a tad bit slow. But on the lastly, one of the main things I am very, very proud of when it comes to our guest today is just how she has gone about, her perseverance and her determination over the few years that I've known her, and just over life in general, and honestly just how she's able to, whenever you are having a conversation with her, you can't help but to believe whatever it is that she's talking about, not in necessarily like a narcissistic or like lying type of way, but in a way of like just encouragement and positivity. Like, she makes you believe that whatever it is that you're talking about, whatever the conversation is, that like you are capable. It like she kind of like helps you tap into the parts of yourself that you wouldn't necessarily have realized were there, and I feel like that's one of her God-given talents. But so listeners, far and wide, get ready for this crazy ride, because the fire we will spark today is truly one that you can't hide. So through the trials, triumphs, and a heart that never fails, she is proof that even in the storm, you can set your own sails. And after all those accolades, if you still don't know, well, buckle up because it's about to be a show. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the SCF Experience, Miss Stephanie TapiaRosiles. So, my friend, how are you doing today?
I just say I tried really hard not to interrupt your snarky comments. I appreciate your introduction. I think you have been so sweet with the way you introduce your people, like in your guests on your podcast.
Thank you.
It's honestly, you have a way with words, and it's so nice to hear the way you talk about other people and the way you talk. It's thank you for your introduction. Um,
Yeah, for sure, man. I like to make sure that, whenever we do start a podcast and everything, I want you to be able to feel good. You know what I'm saying? I want you to be able to feel good, because when you feel good, you do good, and everything just flows well. You know what I mean? So with all that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump right on into it. So go ahead and put your city, your state on the map, man. Where you from?
I'm from Oregon. Unlike the shirt says, I'm not from Switzerland. I wish
No,
I
for
was
sure.
from Europe. I'm from Oregon, specifically a small city named Canby. It's an hour away from Portland, Oregon, for those that might not know Oregon. I get a lot
For
of
sure.
questions about where I'm from, and people ask me, where's that at? Or like, what's over there? Trees,
Yeah.
hippies, it exists.
This is my home.
What's this? The living room or the dining room?
I'm from there.
For sure, for sure. How exactly would you describe your childhood growing up as a older sibling of two younger brothers?
I love my younger brothers. I think growing up as the oldest, it was so nice to have like two like little best friends. 'Cause we would honestly we would just play around like all
Mm.
the time, goof around, and they were boys, so we would like rough house most of the
Yeah.
time.
I've been up here for decades, just waiting for someone to try and steal the Queen's treasure.
But
Especially with brothers.
yeah, like
Yeah.
they are little devils. Like
I
they're
feel you.
angels. Like I love my brothers, but they can be like
How does that sound, Bob?
Bye.
Bob!
Bye.
Bob!
Bye.
Bob!
Huh, bedtime party?
they can be just like little boys, you know, little boys
Yeah.
are just ruthless
Uh,
sometimes.
Absolutely understood.
Yeah, but growing up with, as I'm getting older, I feel like it was hard as teenagers because I think, especially with our age gap, like
Mm,
I am 24 and the middle child is 19, and the youngest is at 15. So
gotcha.
there's a 10 age and then a 5 age gap between my younger brother and my middle brother. And like at some point, I think between the three of us, we kind of like just there was a disconnect because of the age gap.
Yeah.
So sometimes it was hard to connect with them growing up. As
Mm.
as younger siblings, like it would be nice. We would be
Yeah.
children together.
But as you got older, you kind of just grew apart in a way, or like your
Yeah.
interests and everything just started to change. How does that make you feel now, though? Like, would you say the bond that you have with your brothers is something that's a lot stronger? It's something that you appreciate a lot more? Like, do you, try to value even the little things now, or would you just say like, it's just time is just time with them?
I think at this point, like being in the Marine Corps especially, time is just
Mm,
time with them.
yeah.
I try to spend like whenever I'm back home, I try to spend as much time just trying to connect with them again because I've been in the Marine Corps for almost 4 years now, and like the time that I have spent not watching them grow up has been kind of hard because there was one time where my the middle child, he texted me, he was like, I wish you were here to help me through high school. And
Oh
that kind of
man.
broke my heart. I was like, damn, like I wish I could be there to like guide them as their older
Hmm.
sister about like their emotions, their like
Yeah.
friends, and like their love life. Because being the oldest, that's kind of like what the youngest like see is like a role model, is like someone that could help them, guide them through life. Because as a parent, like yeah, you can do that, but they're parents. Like they don't exactly understand what
Yeah.
their
That
children go
pressure is really
through.
on the oldest sibling.
Yeah,
Yeah, because like you're the one that has already experienced the things that they are currently going through.
mhm,
So I mean, like you kind of like have to, in a way, wear both hats of the emotion of like from a woman's perspective or from a young girl's perspective, and then also empathize with the fact that there are still boys. So you're like you may not be able to articulate the way that you experienced it, but you would have to like kind of stoop down to their, I don't want to say stoop down to their level, but like try to understand where they're coming from and just
yeah,
translate it best for that way for them to be able to, take the important parts. And
exactly.
you actually mentioned something about joining the Marine Corps and everything like that. Like, did you always imagine yourself joining the military, Marine Corps specifically, but like, did you always imagine yourself joining the military, or was it, something that was kind of like spare of the moment type of thing?
That was the furthest thing from my
Mm,
mind.
I'll pass.
Like it wasn't single thought about the military. Like I was like the furthest, especially being from Oregon, it's
yeah.
very liberal. And so like
Mm,
I was like the furthest away from government, politics, military. I
what was
think
your goal?
my
Like,
goal
what
was
was your dream? Yeah.
mainly to be an artist and a
Mm,
psychologist. And I just I wasn't liking the college life. I was going
mm,
to college. I was doing art, And I liked art, but I knew that it wouldn't take me where I wanted at the moment. I wanted something, I wanted more from life. And that year that I was in college was the year that I found out that the Marine Corps existed and that the military was a thing.
Yeah.
So that's when I joined.
Got you. Got you. Growing up, who would you say was the first person who actually made you believe in yourself?
My parents, yeah, definitely my
Mm.
parents.
You
They,
speak very highly of them, and I just want to give them a shout out, man. Wherever your parents are in life right now, like you guys have raised an amazing young daughter who has touched a lot of people's hearts and souls, like in the most positive, spiritual, religious way, personal way. And just the things that you continue to do are just flat out just amazing. You know what I'm saying? So definitely shout out to mom and dad. But yeah, please go ahead. My bad. I'm sorry.
what was the question?
The question was, growing up, who was the first person who made you believe in yourself, specifically when you didn't?
Yeah, it would definitely be my parents. And like you said, I hold them to very high regard. And because they, from like I can remember, they were always like, they always had the they believed in me so much that like I didn't even know I could believe in myself. Like it
Yeah.
was like they always pushed me to do things that I didn't want to do. And looking
Mm,
at it back as an adult now, I am so grateful that they did. As much as I sometimes rebelled against them, and sometimes
yeah.
like I was like, what the heck are you guys doing? Like this is my life.
Yeah.
I am now grateful that they did the things that they did. For example, I
Mm,
didn't want to go into martial arts. I didn't want to do taekwondo.
mm.
I didn't want to travel. My crazy like younger self just was like, what the heck? Like I don't want to like
Just
I was
homebody.
so into my little box and my comfort zone that I didn't see what was out in the world until they were like, no, like we believe and like we want you to go out there and explore the world and do these things so that you can grow up and be the best person that you can be. Know all these things about the world, know all these things about life. Yeah.
That's amazing, especially the way that all of that like played out. Like a lot of people, like in the way how you still have a positive relationship with your parents. Like a lot of people, they go into that rebellious stage or they go into that stage where it's like where there's friction and it's hard to come back. You know what I'm saying? So like was there ever a part in your in your relationship with your parents that you ever felt like you couldn't come back, into their good graces, or that you didn't want to come back into their good graces?
Was there ever a point?
Yeah, was there ever a point where you either felt like you couldn't or you just were like, nah, like I'm done with mom and pops, like, or have you guys always been like tightly knitted, family first?
I've always been a family first type of person, but
Mm,
I think that my relationship with my parents have been an up and down. I speak very highly of them and I love them very dearly, but there were times where I did have a point where I was like, I feel like they didn't understand
mm,
my wants and needs because they believed so much in me and they wanted all these great stuff for me
pressure was
that
heavy.
they forgot that I also have like aspirations and I also have like my own thoughts and that I'm growing up to be my own person. And I think they just forget that I am an individual.
That's
Like I had
understandable.
aspirations to be an artist and a psychologist,
Hmm.
and I turned that down because they didn't think that much money would go into it, that it wasn't a good, fulfilling career. And even joining into the Marine Corps, like my mom she did not want me to go at all. Like she almost like tied me to a chair
Really?
and told me that I was not gonna go.
Wow.
There was a point in my life where I uh, felt so strongly about not wanting to do what they wanted that I stopped
Mhm.
speaking for them for like a little bit about my emotions and about like my feelings and my aspirations because of how strongly they were pushing their stuff onto me.
Mhm.
And it was hard to break out of that shell, but I think joining the Marine Corps is what helped me grow and be my own individual without my parents beating down my neck. And I think that honestly helped stable our relationship. It's just putting that distance and because I feel like if I had stayed at home, they definitely would have had more control over my life.
You wouldn't have been able to grow into your own person.
Yeah.
Even like as a dad now, like it's so hard for me to allow my daughter to even like, do certain things for her to like experience and do, you know what I'm saying? Like just the other day, like we're going for a walk. And I think I told you this before, but like I took my daughter for a walk like not too long ago, and she was tired, but like she's trying to run, but she's running tired outside. And so she trips and she falls, busts up whole face. Of
Oh.
course it happens with me.
Oh, damn it. What's wrong, Keefles? You okay?
You know what I'm saying? So like I'm feeling
Like,
terrible. I'm hurt, man. So I'm like, oh my good. I'm like, you know what? You're never running again. You're never running again. You're never we're gonna stay inside. All right, you're gonna be Rapunzel now. You're not going outside.
oh.
And but like you have to allow them to experience. You have to allow them to learn for themselves that like, hey, okay, when I'm running, I maybe should make sure I look where I'm going. So this way, not necessarily to make them more cautious, but at least this way, like now they're actually able to grow in that specific skill. You know what I'm saying? If I had stayed cautious about my daughter running, who knows? Like maybe in the future, she becomes a future track star or something like that. She wouldn't have been able to do it if I just like, nope, no running at all. You will walk slowly everywhere you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? I'm gonna just pick you up. Like we can't do that. And I'm learning, just as a new dad. So I can only imagine how you as the firstborn, you know what I'm saying? Like the first one to leave the nest, the first one to, go off to college, the first one to go into the Marine Corps. You're the first one to do all of these things. Is there anyone else that's in your family that's in the military?
No, I think I'm the first. Yeah.
First on a lot of levels, man. First on a lot of levels. So I can only imagine like just how tough and how hard that was for them. But also at the same time, you growing up wanting to be your own person, which is a very important part about life in general, that you should be able to have a sense of identity, a sense of self, when it comes to your likes, your dislikes, what do you actually want to do and things of that nature. And it's like, especially as you're growing up between the age where you're actually able to say like, this is what I want to do, and being 18 is very important to also nurture, the goals and the dreams that one has, because I feel like as you get older, if you don't have that certain support, it's going to be really easy to just be like, you know what? Hey, like, I guess it just isn't meant to be, but speaking of, hard decisions and, things like that and growing up and things of that nature, being a Marine comes with a lot of pressure, man, a lot of pressure, a lot of expectations. How have you balanced that with your personal growth and challenges?
I think in the beginning, obviously in boot camp, like you are a robot, and coming
Facts.
out of it, you are still a robot as a
Facts.
PFC, as a Lance. I think it took me a little bit to grow into who I
So,
wanted to be, yeah, and myself. I think, and who I am as a person, I am naturally introverted, I'm naturally shy, I'm naturally just wanting to be in my own bubble. But
very
it
much,
was,
very true.
yeah, but it takes me a while to open up. I think that the Marine Corps, I like how like it's just like rules. It's like it's not hard to be
Very, yeah.
like disciplined, for me at least. It was very easy. But it also teaches, like the Marine Corps also teaches you to like be a leader and like be individuals as well to grow into a good leader. And in my last unit, like I think it really helped me to grow into a more extroverted, I'm not extroverted, but it has helped me to like grow more into it and like,
Branch out, network, things of that
yeah.
nature. Just rub elbows with the right people, learn what a good, group of Marines look like, and what do Marines who look like they're not, I don't want to say bad group of Marines, but like a group of individuals who just don't have the same alignment as far as like where you're trying to go. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, like I learn with these people, I can vibe with these people. I don't necessarily want to hang out with these people, like that type of, I get that. And I feel like everyone really like learns that like within the first year or so at their first unit, like they get to learn, and that's where you formulate, honestly, like probably like your closest friendships and things like that
Yes.
in the military.
It's like your second family.
Bro, I'm saying. And then you hate to see them go, bro. You hate to see them go. But what would you say has been your lowest moment in your career, and how have you been able to get on the other side of that?
Oh, my lowest moment honestly has to be I've had a lot of high moments in my military career, but I would have to say that my only low moment I've had was getting a DUI. Um, Going into a new unit, From Okinawa, which was where I last was, to here, it was a very difficult transition for me.
It's like 9 days.
I started hanging out with someone that I shouldn't have been hanging out with. He wasn't a good person for me to be around. And with him, I wasn't the best version of myself, and I got into trouble. It was very heartbreaking for me. I was very heartbroken, and like God, that day that I got in trouble, like I prayed a lot to God, and I looked to God, and I was like, God, why did this happen? Obviously, it was my own fault. I think that God was trying to show me something, because that next morning that I got in trouble, I opened up the Bible, and the first page that showed up for me was the story of Job.
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 Mhm.
I'm pretty sure that's what I said.
My bad.
He lost everything in that story, but he still had faith in God. And I think that right now, no matter what happens to me, like even bad, like, I'm still thanking God in some way. Like whatever happens, like I just know that it's for a reason. Like be it if I did it to myself, I know that it's because God is trying to show me something. God is trying to make me see something. And I feel like it's just brought me closer to my relationship with God. And even that day, like I had so much faith in him. I was like, I know that this might be a career ender, because a DUI can strip you of your money, strip you of your rank, can make people see you differently. It's no joke. And thankfully for me, and this isn't every situation, but and you know this, obviously we work together.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for you and our team that we had, that they all just had good things to say about me. And I'm so grateful that my character showed through that problem. So yeah.
I do remember getting that call, man. It was very shocking, almost as if like I didn't believe it. Like I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, nah, like what? And I mean, you're absolutely right. You have had a amazing career up to that moment, and just how that really like turned it didn't for me, it didn't change anything. Like I still saw you as you. I still saw you as like, the stellar Marine that when we were looking at packages for Marines to come to our unit, I was like, oh yeah, this one off rip. You know what I'm saying? Like, despite me thinking that you were definitely going to be nowhere near as nice or as approachable or anything, but I was still like, you know what? Like, nah, like I don't really care. Like, I want somebody who's hungry. Like somebody who's like really. And your rap sheet spoke for you very, very well. And when you got to the area, I was like, oh yeah, nah, like man, we got a good one. You know what I'm saying? But like, if that experience has taught me anything, is the fact of like, bro, like we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes, but the mistakes isn't what makes us. You know what I'm saying? And just like how you were talking biblically, it's same thing. We all sin. You know what I'm saying? But it's not the sin that makes us. You know what I'm saying? It's like this, like it says in the Bible, a righteous man falls down 6 times and gets up seven, or falls down 7 times and gets up eight. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you fall down, okay, dust yourself off. All right, now we move and we go forward. And personally, I feel like that's exactly what you did during that moment of true hard adversity, true hard, like look in the face of like, yo, like I could lose everything. You turned all of that around, and you were positive around people. You were giving back. You're doing volunteer events and stuff like that. You didn't stop. A lot of people would have caved up under that pressure and would have went stir crazy. And I'm pretty sure in your own personal time, you probably did have some stir crazy moments, but you handled, in the eye of those who were expecting you to act differently, you handled yourself amazingly. And I feel like that should definitely be looked at and accredited to your journey and your walk with God, the just as well of a highlight moment, for lack of better terms, as it was for the incident with the DUI taking place. But after going through that storm, how did it change the way that you see yourself as a Marine and as a person?
I do want to say that other than God being there and like helping me and like talking to him, physically, you were a great help in pushing myself, because I think you were the one that was asking me, hey, if you ever want to volunteer, if you want to do this or that. And like, I think you were one of the first people that I talked to in a deep conversation that we had in one of those volunteer events. Really helped me to just look into myself deep within, and just like, your motivation is what really drove me. I was like, if he's telling me all of this, he still believes in me. He barely even knows me. Like, I was like, gosh, and he just believes in me so much. Like, I must be able to do this. Like, and I can. I can get through this. And I did, and I I feel like as a Marine, I was very disappointed in myself, obviously. I was so scared because this is a career ender, but I still wanted to, I didn't want that to define me. I
Facts.
wanted to grow from it. I wanted to show people that, hey, I know I got in trouble. I know this is not a little thing. But I still want to show you guys that I am willing to put in the work, and I want to be a team member, and I'm going to do my best. And no matter if someone looks at me differently, talks behind my back about my trouble, my situation, like, and it has happened. I've heard about it. But I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm not going to look at these people differently or like act differently, because I still want to show that it's not going to break me down.
I think that should be a testament to anybody that's going through anything, is that like when you go through things, you literally have one of two options. There is no form of in between. The in between is the worst of the two. You can either soak and wallow in it and become the mistake that you made, or you can look at the situation and then you end up doing something better. You know what I'm saying? Or improving from your mistakes. There's no testimony without a test. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be able to go through stuff and actually go through it. You know, a lot of times that we want, you know, these great things and everything like that, but you know, if you want to be used by God, sometimes it honestly takes having to be used. You know, in the situation that you had, it was being used by someone who was probably experiencing a lot of stuff, but also through that you had a lot of awareness within yourself as far as like, okay, these are the type of people I need to hang around with, and this clearly is not the type of person I want to hang around with. This clearly is not the type of person that's fueling me in the right way, any way, shape, or form. I only want to surround myself with those who are feeding into me positively and things like that. I personally just saw how good of a person you genuinely were outside of the event. Like you said, like I barely even knew you, but like we had like a few conversations here and there. I had looked at your rap sheet and everything like that, and I genuinely saw like a good Marine. I personally didn't feel like an event like this should be something that completely just tears you down or takes away your career. Like, no, like, nah, bro, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna dust this off. We're gonna find a way to make things better, and we're gonna just keep moving forward. You know what I'm saying? And I can only imagine how that must have felt actually being in those shoes. Actually being in those shoes, I can only imagine. Like, you didn't know a lot of what was gonna happen until like way down the road. But thank God, you know what I'm saying, that like you were able to still have your rank, pay wasn't taken or anything like that, like, and you're still able to progress in your MOS, in your field, you know what I'm saying? And everything else was still kept intact, you know? So like, really, truly hats off to God, truly, honestly, and also to your perseverance and resilience, man, because you really did that.
He did that.
He did that.
My
He did
parents
that.
pushed him.
I'm saying.
Honestly, and everybody else's. I know my parents pray for me every day, and I know that you pray often.
For
I know
sure.
I had good people around me after that event happened. I blocked them out of my life, and I just have God to thank for the strength, the humbleness. Like,
Oh,
he
that was
humbled
a
me.
humbling moment for you. Yeah, that was like the first time you had ever like,
Yeah.
yeah,
First ever like record of like anything.
anything.
I
Yeah.
was clean slate, and that's the first record I got. No,
Dang.
nothing. And God was like, like, you're doing great, honey, but
And honestly, you know what I'm saying? I feel like God does that though, you know, in order to show us that, in order to test us in a sense of
like the story of
the story of Job.
yeah,
Is like how dude literally had everything.
yeah.
You had everything. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it was definitely a Job like story, and it's just like, you know, being chosen in that area, in that light, and still not knowing what was going to happen, you know, but putting your full faith and trust in God that everything was going to be all right. And came out on the other side, man. Like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I'm super proud of you. I will always be proud of you. Like the way that you have carried yourself. Always be proud of you, man. Like nobody could ever make me hate you, dog, based off of like the things that you have gone through and experienced, and just how you have carried yourself as a leader of young Marines, a leader of other individuals who are around you on a personal level outside of the Marine Corps. Like you just have a bright light and still a very bright future. But when it comes to who you are at your core, you know, your perseverance, your grit, your determination, your love for others, who would you say is that role model for you in a way, like to be able to attribute that attitude?
I would say my dad. I wish I could say I have like other people in my life, but my parents were just so integrated into my life. But they're amazing people.
Yeah.
They're great people. My dad was definitely, he is a character. He has no shame. He can speak pretty bluntly to me. So I would have to attribute perseverance and all that to him, especially with his backstory and the way that he raised us.
That's amazing.
Uh,
Next question would be, out of all of the bonds and relationships that you have made, you know, military, personal, whichever one, you know, which would you say has brought you the most smiles and laughs, and why?
which decision?
No, like which out of all the bonds and relationships that you've made on a personal personal level, occupational level, relationship level, all of that, like which bond would you say, let's just start from 18, you know what I'm saying, 18, you finally starting the college life and everything, like from there all the way to current day, which bond and relationship would you say has brought you the most smiles, and why?
That's a really good question. I think that when I was like in college, I had friends, but once I got into the Marine Corps, I had brothers, I had
Family.
sisters. I wish I could say I had really like a best friend in high school.
Hmm.
Did, but coming into the Marine Corps, I built like even closer bonds. And I think one of them with my best friend Lex,
Hmm.
she she is so goofy, she is so funny, but she is so loyal and she has such a big heart and she is so sweet. I think that as I love having a female friend. Growing up, like my brothers, I didn't have a lot of female friends that I could really call like a sister, and I never had a sister. I always wanted a sister. Um, I think that I just had that sisterhood with her that I've always dreamed of. Um, I think that that is my first bond that really like shaped the rest of my bonds
Hmm.
with other people, especially in the Marine Corps.
For sure, for sure. What and in relation to, you know, the relationships and the bonds and your loved ones and family, what are some fears that are associated with those bonds as a United States Marine? Like I would say, like for me, a fear that I have is, like I told you, like my sister currently right now goes to USF. She's a scholar, man. She's doing an amazing job there, and you know she's really out there killing it. And I don't know, like a fear of mine is that, like, while we did fight so much growing up, a fear of mine would be that, you know, we end up growing apart, and or a fear of mine is like losing friendships and bonds that like really mean the most to me. But specifically my sister, I say that one hits the most.
I think being in the military, it's, I think that's always going to be a risk, is
Yeah.
losing bonds. As much as I wish I could say I'm good at keeping my bonds, I'm really hard. It's really hard for me to reach out. And not because I don't want to, but it's because I am so independently just in my own bubble
Yeah.
that I forget to reach out to people because I am okay with my solitude, and like I like my solitude. I don't mind it. But I do fear that that risk is more of a risk with me losing the people that I truly do care for, and
I get
fearing
it.
that they feel like I don't think about them, but I think about the people from Okinawa like so often and so daily. And my problem is that I don't reach out as often as I want to or wish. I wish that I did. And I think that that is a genuine fear that people will think that I don't care about them.
No, I hear you.
I do. That is something that I think that I need to work within myself is, and I have been trying to, especially here. I've been reaching out to the people that are still around me just so that
Mhm.
I can get into the habit of like whenever they are away in
Yeah.
a different country and in a different state that I am still reaching out.
Letting them know that you still care, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Stuff like that. No, that's understandable. But at the same time, it's also understandable of if you've ever experienced any form of a relationship or being around, even being around parents that could be in a way overbearing. I don't want to say overbearing. Maybe that was a bad word to use, but just like, for lack of better terms, a bit suffocating. So like once you do end up getting like your own bubble, your own room, your own space to be able to breathe, and then you're like, like, this is nice. It's nice. I only have to worry about myself. And so, but I do also understand in a way of how that can end up being a lot. Like that can end up becoming a form of your personality to like you end up associating wanting to prioritize yourself so much that you become introverted and may neglect a few friendships or family and friends or previous service members who served and are overseas or whatever the case may be, like things of that nature. I completely understand that.
I think that's interesting that you say that because I don't think I've thought about it that way. But I can definitely see the correlation between feeling like I had my life controlled for me and like overbearing parents to now having my own space to
And that could be
just
possibly what it
breathe
is.
in. Yeah.
It's now like you prioritize that, or I mean, like, and because of that, it could be that were you pretty introverted like growing up as well?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So you probably you all you know is just to be by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like to not really
Yeah.
like go out while you still value these relationships and these friendships and stuff. Like at the same time, it's like now that you can just take care of you and just be you, that could, in a way be like the only thing that you unintentionally care about. It's the point where it's just like, no offense to anybody else, but gotta take care of Stephanie first. Just that Stephanie's first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. You know what I'm saying? But
Um,
I mean, it's understandable though, man. It's understandable, and I honestly feel like it's a part of life. Like when I first got to Quantico, I did the same thing. I first got
yeah.
to Quantico, and I ain't really reach out to nobody. And for me, I didn't really start prioritizing and reaching out to family and friends and like try to prioritize and like keep these relationships going until honestly like I experienced, like some tragedies in life, and then
Mm,
that's when it was just like, all right, like maybe I should, I remember when, my homeboy, he actually, me and him would talk about whatever. I'm going through something, so maybe I can end up talking to him. I
mhm.
remember when, my sister and I would just talk about how we hated being at the house, whatever. She's at the house right now. Why don't I just call her and see how she's doing? Things of that. You start to think about things a bit broader,
Yeah.
but that comes with experience of, grief, loss, or frustration, or whatever the case may be. And it just goes from there. But make another transition. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now going into the part of the podcast called Questions from the Fire Pit. This is where we have questions from family, friends, colleagues, whoever the case may be, friends of a friend, whatever the case, and social media. Put them in all rumbo jumbo, and then we ask the individual the question. Now, for this particular part of the podcast, Stephanie, you're going to have 30 seconds. I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to have 30 seconds to think about it. Okay. 30 seconds thinking about it. And you're going to have a minute to actually talk about what it is that you have to say. Now, if I ask like why or like dig a little deeper, whatever the case may be, you can do that. You know what I'm saying? But like without the whole minute restriction. But just to let you know, 30 seconds to think about it, a minute to execute. Sound good?
Yes.
All right, bet. She like, I mean, I ain't really got no other option. You know what I'm saying? It's your
I'm
podcast.
trapped
So
here.
all right, so question number one. If you could describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be?
I think I got it.
All right, that was literally 30 seconds on the dot, too. I was like,
Okay.
so now, go ahead.
Describing myself in 3 words. I simple words come to my mind. I feel like describing myself as a person, I would say I'm introverted, genuine, and kind.
Mm.
think. I feel like they're very simple words.
For
I
a
don't
not so very simple person, but understandable though.
I don't know if I need to go in depth, but I don't know. I feel like it's just a simple.
Honestly, I felt like based off of like the conversation that we've had so far, I feel like it's kind of clear why you've chosen those three. You said genuine was one of them. Clearly, you know what I'm saying? You always have a heart for other people, even when you are going through your own stuff. Like you never don't make time for someone who actually who truly needs you. And I believe like other Marines that you've served with can say the same thing about you. And introvertedness, we just went over that. What was the third one?
Kind.
Kind. Yeah. Yeah, you're nice, all right. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Real.
Whatever you say. All right, second question is if your younger self were to see you now, what would she think?
Mm.
Okay. And think about it. You got 30 seconds.
I feel like my younger self would have a lot of questions for me. I think
Girl, what is you doing with your
no, actually,
Where are we? This is so ghetto.
what happened to the plan? Like, is this not what we?
Yeah.
I think she would ask why. I think she would ask, um, what happened that like led to this? I think she would say like I think she would just have questions because this where I'm at now wouldn't have happened if I hadn't made the decision to join the Marine Corps in such a short amount of time that I had the idea to where like I enlisted. I had aspirations to go to college and to be an artist and like
Yeah.
psychology. And she'd be like, what happened to those dreams? Like, why are we here? What are you doing? This isn't what I wanted. I think she would say that. I think she
And
would say this isn't what I wanted.
I never try to stop anybody. I never try to stop anybody from talking anymore, but you're about to answer a question that I already have.
Oh, okay.
And that question is, next question, if your life were a movie, what do you feel the audience will be screaming at you to do?
That's a good question.
I feel like you were literally just getting ready to answer it.
What did I say?
You were talking along the lines of how your younger self will have so many questions in relations to the plan that you had set up for yourself, the dream, the goal, the ideas.
Okay.
And then now it's like, what happened?
Right.
What's going on? You know what I'm saying? So the question again is, if your life was a movie
Mm-hmm.
and it's in this big, nice auditorium, big, nice movie theater, you know what I'm saying? And all you got is your stereotypical black people, maybe a couple Marines. You know what I'm saying? Girl, what is you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they was, what would they be telling you to do? It may take a little bit of accountability and self-awareness of yourself, good or bad. I don't know. I don't know.
Are my 30 seconds up?
No, because we had to, we had to redo and go back and yeah. See, you just good. You.
So I think that if my life was a movie and there was people in the audience screaming at me, they'd probably be screaming to do what I want, to just stop being a people pleaser and stop listening to what everybody else is telling me and just do what I want. Because I feel like a lot in my life I didn't do what I wanted to do. I didn't speak my mind and I didn't do what I wanted to aspire to do because of other people, because I was just, I think, what's the word for it? A doormat?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. You just let people walk all over you.
yeah,
Don't necessarily speak up for you.
basically. So I think people would be screaming at me. I know I would be screaming at someone if I was watching a show. I'd be like, just do what you want. Like, what are you doing? Why are you listening to other people? And like right now as an adult, I'm like, why? As as an adult, I would tell my younger self, do what you want. Like you have dreams and that's okay. Speak your mind. Nothing is gonna happen. Like the worst someone could do is just say speak their opinions.
Yeah.
Like they're and that's what it is, their opinions. And I held them to a higher value than I should have as a child.
I feel like you hold them higher than yourself, honestly, is what it sounds like. And I don't even mean to, once again, cut you off or anything. I never cut anybody off. This is kind of crazy. But I really feel as though, um, a lot of people needed to hear that. A lot of people need to hear, yo, bro, for all the 20 or for all the 18 to 25, 26, honestly, it doesn't even matter how old you are. If you have a dream, if you have a goal, go after it.
Yeah.
Go after it and go do it. When you really think about it, you have one life. That is it. You only have one. You don't get a second try. You don't get a redo. You don't get none of that. Ultimately, number one, I wouldn't be right if I didn't say this. Number one needs to always be have a relationship with God. Period. Period, point blank, have a relationship with God. That is number one. Number two, if there is anything that you are passionate about doing, do that. We literally have people who sit in front of a camera for hours on hours on hours, streaming, playing video games, doing whatever, and they make millions. And they did it broke. They weren't even thinking about the money. They did it broke,
I'm seeing
but it
one.
was
I'm
what they
looking at one right now.
loved. Stop it. Stop it. All right. Don't give it. Don't give it up. Hey, we might get there. You know what I'm saying? We might get there. But like they did it because they loved it. They did it because they loved what they loved the connection that they made. They loved the thrill, the grind. They loved that. They didn't even care about the money. If the thing that you love so much, if you would do it free, why do you care about the money? You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. Like, I understand we all have to like make a living for ourselves and whatnot. But like at the same time though, bro, like if you can do the thing that you love, point blank period. And I at least just start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be a writer, get the manuscript. You know what I'm saying? Get the rough draft. Just get the rough draft done. Get the idea, something. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of people just shut themselves out. Start somewhere. Another question that we have from the fire pit is, I don't know where this came from, but we're gonna do it anyway. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? Don't worry, you got 30 seconds to think about it.
Okay.
Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? I find it funny that don't worry about it. I find it funny because you're from Oregon.
Hey,
and your favorite animal is a duck. Your favorite animal is a duck.
It
but,
is, yeah.
But
Great
go,
question for me.
Honestly, you got like 5 seconds.
Oh, okay.
All right, so what we doing?
Oh, okay.
Horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Well, do I have to fight them? Like, what if
Yeah,
I
you
can
gotta fight
just...
them. You gotta
Okay,
fight them.
they're trying to
Right
like
now.
eat me alive.
You gotta do it. You
Oh
gotta do
no.
it.
I
Which
mean,
one you picking?
oh God, ducks. I was gonna say, so I wanted to say 100 ducks or 100
Fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses. So a bunch of small horses
horses.
or one big duck.
Horses. I feel like
Horse.
okay.
That
So
ain't a
see,
word.
Was English.
That wasn't English.
I think a duck is more in the size of a horse is more like will do more damage to me than little horses like kicking me with their little hooves, running around me. I don't know. They can't even like jump onto me or fly. So
I like how we're thinking here. I like how we're
yeah,
thinking.
I would choose 100 duck-sized horses.
I
Yeah.
think it's funny the fact that like you're not that far from a duck's height. Yeah.
Wait a
Thank you,
minute.
bro. Last question from the fire pit. If you could have dinner with anyone in the world, dead or alive, who would they be and why?
I don't know. I think there's so many great people in the world for me to choose one person. Like I
Yeah.
could say someone like I think it'd be interesting to have a conversation with like past like people that have died like Diana, Princess Diana,
Princess Diana would be lit.
right?
That would be lit. Yeah.
But I feel like there's so many great people in the world like that.
Yeah.
Like especially like famous people that died young.
Yeah.
That were had such good hearts. I feel like it would be so
Such
difficult
great
for me
influence.
to like choose one of those people, and that's why I was like my first reaction was Raul, because Raul is handsome,
But I
but
know who you're talking about. Yeah. I know
that
you're
would
talking
be the
about.
answer, but I didn't want to say that because I would have gotten in trouble by Rob. You'd be like, so
What you mean?
yes.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure, for
That's
sure.
that's right.
But as we transition now to the closing and final remarks, you know what I'm saying, the final deep questions and everything like that. You said before you want to become someone that is an artist and someone that is in the psychology world and things like that, specifically for Marines and things of that nature. And what moment in your life made you say, "This is what I want to do"?
Well, being an artist was pretty simple for me. I think I can do that as a hobby. I just like expressing myself through art.
Mhm.
I specifically like drawing other people. Like I
Mm.
think it's like watching reels or like TikToks of like people getting drawn. Like I like portraying other people in like my eye. I feel like
Mhm.
that's
In like a beautiful romantic way, or like in like the carnival funny type way?
no kind of a way, more of a like just like a still life, like a
Mm.
profile. I
For
think
sure.
I think that I like that. I like art. I think it's the way that I can express myself. And it's
You do
soothing
it
for
very
me.
well.
Thank you. It's very soothing. I think art is very soothing. And since I was young, I think art has just been soothing. But for psychology, I think that when I joined in college, I had that aspiration because I was interested in psychology. I think psychology is very interesting. I think psychology is very complex. But as I got into the Marine Corps, I wanted to do it more and more. I am so interested in other people's minds.
Mm.
And I think that's why we have such deep, meaningful conversations because
Facts.
I love asking you questions and you love like asking questions too. But
I tend to talk too much.
I feel like knowing how a person's mind like works, the complexities that they like have been through, the experiences that they've been through that have built them up to who they are now, I think is so interesting to see how a mind works. And I want to be able to also be an advocate for like people that have gone through traumas and experiences because I feel like I'm a good listener and I feel like I'm good at asking questions and I just have a lot of interest in other people's well-being, mental well-being. I think mainly because I feel like I am so closed off with my mental, like not mental well-being, but like emotions that I want to be there for
Help others with
others.
theirs.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I definitely see that, man. Especially just by how like our friendship has just molded from all of the deep personal conversation that we've had. And just how we've always shown ways to just be there for each other in ways where that both of us are able to grow in an authentic way professionally and personally.
Yeah.
And I can just see the way that that has transpired into other friendships that you've had as well. But we're down to our last two.
Okay.
Um, so a lot of people listening could be possibly carrying forms of guilt, shame, self-doubt. What would you say the person who feels like they've messed up or they've gone too far or, to recover, what would you say to them?
I feel like I've always thought this and I've always said this to myself. God has always welcomed sinners, you know?
Hmm.
But only if you have that guilt and that shame. Like,
Conviction.
yeah, conviction. I feel like it's a step forward to like building yourself, building a relationship with God to have shame and guilt. And like I have tons of it. I feel like I am always thinking about the little things. I feel like I'm always having like little guilts here and there. But I just leave it into God's hands because
Mhm.
we're only human and we're all sinners. I think that as long as you give yourself up to God, that He will He will hold your sins, He will hold you, and
You always have a home when it comes to God. You
yeah,
always have like,
yeah,
if you get rejected from the world, you will always have a place where you are welcome no matter what your background is, no matter what you look like, no matter what you've done, you will always have a place in Christ
exactly,
if you go to him. But like you
exactly.
were just saying, like you have to be filled with him though.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Cuz like the reason why, for example, you know this very well. I can't lie. Like if I tell a lie, I'm real quick to be like, my
Real
bad,
quick.
dog. Yeah, let's run that back. I lied. That I don't even know why I lied. But like but it's that conviction that's within me. Like
Yeah.
I feel bad, and like the first thing honestly that comes to my mind is like, no, I'm gonna have to answer for this. And I ain't even have to do it. I'm gonna have to answer for this on Judgment Day. And I know good and well I didn't even want to do it. I don't know why I did it, like, and so,
Thinking over me.
but like it's just, but at the same time, at the end of the day, no matter what it is that you have done, God looks at every sin equal, from lying to murder. It all breaks his heart. So
Yeah.
if you feel like you've gone too far where that family, friends, and anybody else can't accept you, I feel like what you're trying to say, correct me if I'm wrong, you always have a place next to the Father.
Yes. Yeah.
For sure. I got you. I know you got like language barrier and everything. I got you. You know what I'm saying? I got your
No.
back. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks,
I
thanks.
got your back. I got your
No,
back.
and it's funny because I struggle with words so bad. It's so bad. I used to choke up talking about my own feelings and emotions, and I think that reads into like not feeling comfortable talking about my emotions and feelings. And it has spread sometimes into like my relationships. But with you, it's been so easy. I think you just get it out of me, and you've been so helpful in that aspect. So I thank you for this podcast, for this
Platform.
yeah, to
I got you, bro.
help me.
I got you, dog. I got you. You know what I'm saying? I got you. Last and final question before the closing remarks, though. If you could leave one lasting piece of wisdom for your fellow Marines, and for anyone who is listening, that is from past Marines to present Marines to your future young Marines, what would that advice be?
I feel like
It doesn't even have to be Marines. It could be just people in general. Let me
I
say
feel like
that.
it's a loaded question. I already feel so humbling being on your platform. I feel like you choosing me to be on here, it's like I feel like I don't have much to talk about. I feel like I don't have enough experience. I feel like I don't have like much to say because there's so much. I feel like there's other people with like so much more wisdom, so much more experiences. I feel like I guess if I could close this off is to just be humble, just be open-minded, especially when it comes to like troubles. Don't take it as a end, like this is the end, especially if like you're going through anything like mentally traumatizing or like mentally like you feel like you just can't keep going. Like there is so much in life. I promise you, there's always someone that loves you. If it's not people around you, it's going to be God. Like I feel a lot of like, what's the word for it? Like just peace, knowing that if anything, God is there for me. Jesus is there for me. They are my everything. They will love
For
me.
sure. For sure.
And I will love myself. And
Definitely.
I've been taught that. Just love yourself. I think that is the biggest thing. Just keeping like moving forward. You are your best advocate.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hear you, man. I hear you most definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Stephanie, thank you for bringing your honesty, your heart, and your humor to the flame today. Your story is living proof that, mistakes don't have to define you. You know what I'm saying? Adversity doesn't have to break you, and even in the middle of self-doubt, you can still rise and make a difference. You know what I'm saying? So to everyone listening, I hope Stephanie's journey has reminded you that resilience isn't about being perfect. Okay, that's not what it's about at all. It's about refusing to quit. It's about facing your hardest parts of yourself and still choosing to keep moving forward. So whether you're a Marine, a student, a parent, or just someone navigating through your own struggles and your own battles, remember you too can survive the flame. So to everyone that's listening, my host Stephanie's journey has reminded you that resilience isn't just about being perfect, but it's also about refusing not to quit. It's about facing your hardest parts of yourself and still choosing to keep moving forward. So whether you're a Marine, a student, a parent, or just someone who's navigating through their own battles and struggles in life, you have to remember that even you too can survive the flame. And ending off with our quote of the day, life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. All right, and that is by Albert Einstein himself. So until next time, people, stay strong, stay grounded, stay positive, stay humble, spread kindness, and as always, man, it's grind time. This is Surviving the Flame. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for the support and always tuning in to your favorite podcast geared towards helping people through tough times with tough conversations. Thank you all. And as always, spread kindness. This is Surviving the Flame. See you next time.